Hello and welcome to another edition of the Morning Update. We'd like to thank you so much for tuning in. If you tuned in yesterday, apologies. We did have some technical difficulties and weren't able to come with the Morning Update yesterday. But we are back here today with some updates from the government of St. Lucia. If you're watching on air online, good morning to you. St. Lucians in the diaspora, residents right here at home, getting on about the business of the day. Good morning to you. We have an update from the Ministry of Health and Wellness on COVID-19 cases, 11 new cases being reported in the last 24 hours. We also have an update on the vaccination campaign that is now ongoing, letting you in on where you can go to get vaccinated. Also, the official findings of an archaeological survey has given the green light for the continuation of the Cabot development on Mount Hardy. We also have word on the observance yesterday of Earth Day. St. Lucia is recommitting to the environment on Earth Day under the theme Restore Our Earth. Also, the island's management of COVID-19 is registering a major success as government increases the response budget. You would recall earlier this week that we did have, out of a batch of samples, none of these coming out with positives. So that is definitely something to remark on. Of course, no sooner we did hear later on that there were 25 new cases, but something to note, especially as we continue in this fight of COVID-19. And of course, kudos can credit the Ministry of Health and Wellness for their efforts so far. We take a look at St. Vincent. St. Lucia's private sector is partnering with the government in relief efforts for those who have been affected by the volcanic eruption there. And finally, the Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project again has served the island well. Stay with us. We have the details to those stories and an interview as well this morning. We'll be hearing from Mrs. Claudia Edward-Ladner. She is the founder for Edward for Education. She's also a Goodwill ambassador here on island, and she continues the good work that has been assigned to her by the Ministry of the Department of Culture and the Creative Industry. So stay tuned for that and more coming up on the other end of this break.
Yeah. What does coronavirus have in common with love? Both are highly contagious. Spread love, not the virus. Like you, COVID-19 loves a lime. Beach, river, or fed. Coronavirus is like these people who track every lime just to invade. The best way to put off invaders? Cancel the lime. Spread love, not the virus. Keep you and your crew corona-free. Live to lime another day.
Together let us win this war. St. Lucia be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you're just joining, good morning to you. We have an important interview this morning. Her Excellency Claudia Edward-Ladner. She's the founder of Edward for Education, also a Goodwill ambassador here on island. She will be here to speak to us about her latest venture, teaming up with Harris Paints to bring the students of the Blanchard Combined School a painted outside wall. So we'll hear from her in just a moment, and we also get some scenes of what the finished product looked like. In the meantime, we have an update on our COVID-19 cases. 11 new cases of COVID-19 to report. This was out of a sample of 179 samples, a batch of 179 samples taken on April 19th and the 20th. This brings the total number of cases, active cases in country to 100 after we remove the recovery of 8 individuals here on island. In terms of our national vaccination campaign that is now ongoing, 23,829. We're inching up to the 24,000 mark. To that number of individuals, they've received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and 206 individuals have received their second dose. If you want to get vaccinated today, the locations are the Philip Marsler Grounds, Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds, and the Jack Mel Wellness Center. You could go get vaccinated there. If you're interested, you can pre-register online, hmi.govt.lc. or you can just let the good nurses at the nearest wellness center know that you're interested in getting vaccinated so that they can register for you. You are reminded to continue practicing the infection prevention and control measures to reduce the spread of COVID-19. And since we weren't on air for the morning yesterday, we did the day before register 25 new cases, and that was just after going 24 hours without getting a report from the Ministry of Health in terms of new cases. So they did indicate for that period, out of that batch for that day, I think it was Wednesday, we had no new cases of COVID-19 to report. And of course, we can credit the Ministry of Health and Wellness for that. They have been working assiduously to get gain some ground in terms of the COVID-19 response since the third wave of the virus, and we're seeing the results of that right now. We continue with our updates this morning, taking a break from COVID-19. The official findings of an archaeological survey on the former Arawak burial ground, which forms part of the multi-million-dollar Cabot development, has been released. The report gives the all clear for the continuation of development on Mount Hardy. Take a look at this report coming from on our team, Mr. Lawrence. Take a look.
The former Arawak burial ground, with its archaeological significance today, has been the focus of major media attention, with concerns being raised by the St. Lucia National Trust. The developers, Cabot St. Lucia, under the recommendation of the St. Lucia National Trust, engaged the services of eminent and internationally respected archaeologist Dr. Reginald Murphy to undertake a physical study of the area. He described his research as bittersweet from an archaeologist's perspective, as he had hoped to discover significant archaeological findings, but found nothing remarkable.
Now, as far as the development potential or the archaeology of the site, we can say it's been almost totally eroded, washed out, natural causes and vehicular traffic. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality of that particular site. We did a complete comparison. We looked at where people excavated before. We found those spots. They were gone, almost bedrock in most places. Then we looked at where the houses were located, because those are also mapped by the University of Leiden. They're completely gone. We looked at the burial ground area. That's all gone. And by the way, no complete individuals are found there, just partial remains of over 40 people.
The study was also a requirement of the local DCA in order to grant permission to Cabot to continue works in that specific area. The local Archaeological and Historical Society was asked to consult with DCA and to prepare the terms of reference for the study. President of the Archaeological and Historical Society, Dr. Winston Filjans, confirmed the integrity of the survey.
I would want to focus solely on our role in all of this. We advised the DCA. The advice that we gave was that a proper archaeological assessment was supposed to be done. The report has come back. We have read the report. The report are according to terms of reference. The report are also according to the normal archaeological assessment projects around the world. And we're satisfied that the gentleman who did the work, Mr. Murphy, did what he was asked to do, and the report has met our terms.
Dr. Murphy was also asked to give an expert opinion as to whether his findings hindered the developers from moving forward.
All I can say is, from professional archaeological opinion, there's nothing there of cultural heritage values, tangible values, worthy of, say, stopping a project. Again, if I'm asked to make a decision, should they go ahead and do it? I look at the values of the job creations. You have to look at the economical values. I have to look at all those things and balance it out against heritage, because heritage must be seen to be contributing financially. Otherwise, no sites are going to be saved. We have to look at the economic values of heritage. And this is a good example of, you have a heritage site, you study it, and if you have to put the development in, you study it until there's nothing left and get everything you can out of it, and then you can develop it, but you have the historical document. This is the kind of case I think, I would say yes, it could be developed at this point in time.
The Cabot team has welcomed the findings and the green light to proceed with the works in the location of concern. CEO of Cabot St. Lucia is Christine Thompson.
Living in harmony with our communities is at the core of what we value as a corporation. And what that means is not only providing economic opportunities for the members of that community, but also respecting and protecting the flora and fauna on the site, the history of the site, the peoples that live there, the marine environment that surrounds the site, the conservation of scarce resources like water. So for example, on this course we will use all drought-resistant strains of grass so that we conserve whatever resources that we have, and really protecting the environment in the best possible way that we can.
One of the key recommendations of the archaeology report is that an archaeologist be present when any digging or excavation work is taking place in that specific area. Cabot has noted that they are working closely with the local Archaeological and Historical Society to facilitate this, and has also committed to erecting a monument in the area to memorialize the indigenous peoples. From the Government Information Service, Rojvaro Lawrence reporting.
Thank you, Rojvaro, for that report. Of course, definitely a sigh of relief that there's nothing of significant value as indicated by the archaeologists there, and of course Cabot can continue with their operations, their construction, their development, essentially. We continue with updates this morning. St. Lucia just yesterday joined the global community in observing Earth Day, and to commemorate the occasion, and just 6 months prior to the 26th conference of the parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, the Department of Sustainable Development launched Climate Change in St. Lucia, Let's Make It Our Drama, DRAMA. It was a stimulating 4-minute animated video designed to raise public awareness about climate change, particularly among the younger population, and accelerate climate change across the country. The video was created by Ted Sandiford, local artist of Acid Creations, in collaboration with DSD and UNICEF, and it features musician Ezra the Fun Machine Augustine and radio host Francesca Franny Solomon as the narrators. The animated video is intended to be used in schools, at summer camps, among youth groups, and otherwise to introduce students to and help galvanize action on climate change, while sharing information on the government's plans, such as the Nationally Determined Contribution and the National Adaptation Plan. Here's an excerpt from the drama DRAMA video.
Climate change and environmental education is key.
For instance, discuss how our tourism and agricultural sectors can contribute to the fight against climate change, and how this can help our country promote a sustainable tourism and agriculture model and create jobs.
Share ideas on how renewable energy and energy efficiency practices can make our environment clean and green.
Read about climate change. There is so much to learn.
Did you know that over 50% of our coral is already bleached? Did you know how drought is impacting our farmers? Climate change will only make things worse. Learn about how to tackle these problems.
And of course, take action.
Think of dengue. If you do your part by clearing stagnant water, we can eradicate it together. Rewarding, isn't it? You can also join tree planting campaigns or gardening activities at your school to protect both our environment and your health.
Think of all the other little practical things you can do on a daily basis, such as reducing, recycling, reusing, and repurposing, which will help you save a lot of money.
And so that was an excerpt of the DRAMA video, and I see that they were able to depict the narrators very well. And so Francesca Solomon, as well as Ezra the Fun Machine Augustine were depicted, and also narrators of the video. So kudos to the team that prepared this production. Meantime, we have the Ministry of Tourism, Information Broadcasting, Culture and the Creative Industries celebrating the local environment under the designated theme of Earth Day, Restore Our Earth. We have some scenes thanks to a report from Miguel Morissette. Take a look.
Happy Earth Day!
The Ministry of Tourism, Information and Broadcasting, Culture and Creative Industries is joining the world in the commemoration of Earth Day 2021. The theme for this year's observance is Restore Our Earth. Ecosystems and natural resources are a vital part of St. Lucia's tourism sector. The Permanent Secretary, Donalyn Vite, speaking on the importance of this year's theme, says it is necessary to protect and preserve our green spaces for future generations and to achieve economic sustenance.
It's quite impossible for tourism to take place or even to thrive in a world where the earth is not protected and the earth is not respected. And so we are very delighted here in St. Lucia that we have a bounty of natural resources that is really able to allow St. Lucia to put itself out there in the world market for tourism. We have the extent of our drive-in volcano. We have our underwater features, our dive sites, our wonderful creatures below the sea. We also have our sky rides and our wonderful parks and recreational facilities that really surround us with green spaces and amenities that allows not only visitors but St. Lucians to recreate and enjoy.
Vite says the COVID-19 pandemic has created an opportunity to focus on the rehabilitation of green areas and ecosystems.
We've been seeing how many of our clients, those persons who have sites and attractions, those persons who have farms, and they were taking care of green spaces, how they have gone further and developed it, and being able to realize that this downtime has given them a significant opportunity to increase forest cover and also to really take care and nurture and develop various facets that we could use as part of our tourism industry.
Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Lenita Joseph, says the day provides an opportunity for staff to reflect on the significance of the planet and to celebrate its existence in light of recent natural disasters.
Here in the Ministry of Tourism, we wanted to celebrate Earth Day. We wanted to celebrate the place that we live in and how much we appreciate what this planet does for us. So we're celebrating today, so the staff have dressed up in animal print, in floral print, or in earth colors, just to engender that sense of wellness and thankfulness and appreciation for our environment. And also for lunch, we're having local food, not processed food, but stuff that has been grown here, ground provisions and fish. So we're looking at both land-based and marine-based life, and we're having appreciation for it.
Joseph says the exercise allowed the ministry to lend its voice to the importance of protecting the earth. From the Government Information Service, Miguel Morissette reporting.
Thank you, Miguel, for that report. We're due for our first break for the morning. When we come back, the National Students' Council is calling on all students island-wide to cooperate with the Ministry of Education as school reopens. It has reopened this week. You'll hear from the Public Relations Officer, Mr. Jean-Luc Constantine. So that and more on the other end of this break. Stay with us.
Cette lisi ka registre vers min corona. Ek I ka fait mouvement ek an chay vitesse tan, chaque canef ka kouye pour diligence publique la, fait wolo, parler en place publique, kon bol en main, base, ti boutique, changer, distance sociale, 6 pieds, rodyon à l'autre, I ka travay tan, si ou senti ko pa cordial, quarantine ko, patwe en contact et puis l'autre, en cas où te tope exposé. Si on est couillé, free 11 ou ben n'importe clinique yo pou. Les pays a dimi à clé, ça veut dire les supermarkets, pharmacies et puis ATM, yo accessible avant c'était souhait. Pays à clé en plein, ça veut dire tout bagay fermé à 24 heures. Servi protocole comme sorti par bureau indication santé. Nous tout ensemble, ça sauver vers min corona. Si nous tous servi Jidla à toutes les.
Together let us win this war. St. Lucia be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
Thank you so much for staying with us. This is the Morning Update live on NTN, where we're bringing you the latest developments from the government of St. Lucia. We have the National Students' Council appealing to students island-wide to cooperate with teachers and principals for the reopening of school. But first, we'll hear from the Chief Education Officer, Dr. Fiona Philip-Meyer. She's reporting satisfaction with the opening of the third term of the academic year in the physical setting. Students returned to the classroom on Monday, that was the 19th of April, after adapting to virtual learning for the better part of the academic year, the last year, that is, of COVID-19. Indications coming from the ministry indicate that the transition back to the classroom setting has been generally smooth, with the Department of Education and the Ministry of Health, more specifically the Environmental Health Department, working very closely to ensure that the protocols are adhered to across the board. We go to our clip from Dr. Fiona Philip-Meyer.
As a parent and long-serving educator, I'm well placed to appreciate the anxiety as well as relief associated with the reopening of school for many parents and staff. We are keenly aware of the efforts of many educators and applaud them for their preparations geared at welcoming our students back. We saw some creative and fun projects that reminded students of safety protocols while at the same time reaffirming their sense of belonging at the educational institutions island-wide. Well done, everyone, and thank you for your efforts. We thank you for this initial step at what we hope will be a sustained third term. Like other sectors of society, educational institutions will be managing COVID cases under the guidance of the Department of Health. We want to reassure parents that they will be contacted as per the need, and we hope there is no need to do so, but we want to reaffirm our commitment to always keeping them informed if their children are impacted in any way. We have staff, parents, and students who in some way or another may be impacted reference COVID-19. We wish therefore to remind all stakeholders of the specific responses to various scenarios that were developed prior to the reopening of school. We encourage everyone to practice and adhere to the protocols that are clearly established so as to reduce any possible spread. We must, especially as adults, be vigilant and responsible in our actions so as to reduce any risk to our younger ones. Our commitment is clear: health, safety, and a successful educational journey for all.
That was the Chief Education Officer, Dr. Fiona Philip-Meyer. And by now, parents, teachers should already be aware of the approach that the various schools will be taking. Educational institutions will operate from Monday to Friday based on the established school hours. Some schools will adopt a whole school approach based on the physical infrastructure and their population, the school population. Other schools will operate using the alternate day system, a 6-day cycle, thus providing at least 3 days of face-to-face instruction to students. And meanwhile, we have the National Students' Council. They're calling on students to cooperate with school and health authorities and adhere to all COVID-19 protocols in order to achieve some sense of normalcy. We have the Public Relations Officer from the Council, Mr. Jean-Luc Constantine, making this appeal.
We understand that as schools reopen, we will all attempt to jumpstart our education, and that there is no one-size-fits-all method that will work for us all. But it will be critical for us as students to take responsibility and work alongside our teachers, our peers, and our parents to ensure that we have a smooth transition to face-to-face learning. Students of St. Lucia, now more than ever, your voices matter. Your cries for help have always been heard. Please do not be afraid to seek guidance from your peers, as we all have to cope with the trauma of this pandemic.
And that was Jean-Luc Constantine, Public Relations Officer of the National Students' Council. He's encouraging students to continue to adapt and demonstrate resilience in this new era dictated by the coronavirus. And we come back to the coronavirus, COVID-19. The First National Bank St. Lucia has made a significant donation of drinking water and also water storage tanks for families that have been most affected by the eruptions of the La Soufrière volcano in Sister Isle, St. Vincent. We have a report. Take a look. A total of 2,000 cases of drinking water plus 5,800 water storage tanks were placed on boats and shipped along with other relief supplies to the residents that were displaced from their homes and also for general distribution where the supplies were most needed. Present at the Viewfort docks to see the handover was Managing Director of First National Bank, Jonathan Johannes.
As a corporate entity with deep connections in St. Vincent and hopefully, if all goes well, soon to be an operator in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we felt it necessary to reach out at a time of need for the people and the government over there. We firmly believe that if the shoe was on the other foot, they would have done the same for us, and we have history and evidence to show the deep support and deep ties that the islands have. So reaching out to St. Vincent at a time of need was a natural thing for us to do.
Director of NEMO, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Michelle Forbes, received the items on behalf of the government and people of that country.
I would like to express thanks to the First National Bank for the donation of these 5,800-gallon water tanks to the people and the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As we all know, we are still experiencing explosive eruptions or episodes from the La Soufrière volcano, and this has really severely affected our water distribution throughout the country. These water tanks will go a long way in supporting not just NEMO, but the agencies that belong to NEMO in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The receipt and coordination of the donations were handled by Ms. Vonetta Rogers, Country Manager for RBC-RBTT, which was recently purchased by the OECS Consortium of Indigenous Banks. For the Government Information Service, I am Jessie Leonce reporting. And finally, in terms of our updates for the morning, St. Lucia's relief efforts for St. Vincent is continuing again with another private agency partnering with government. King Ocean Service is under MNC Shipping. An agent of MNC Shipping is the latest company to provide such assistance. Take a look at this report. A local shipping company is contributing to disaster relief efforts in St. Vincent and the Grenadines as the neighboring island continues to cope with the effects of explosions from the La Soufrière volcano. King Ocean Shipping, a subsidiary of MNC Shipping, partnered with the National Emergency Management Organization NEMO to deliver emergency supplies freight-free to St. Vincent. Keitha Annett is a sales executive at MNC Shipping.
We originally was due to arrive last week, but last week Wednesday, but as a result of what had transpired on short notice, we altered our rotation to come in on the Tuesday, and we were able to load out 9 40-feet containers to St. Vincent, providing relief items. Out of the 9, we were able to load 2, which were donated by MNC Shipping head office, which is, parent company, I should say, which is Minville and Chasney Limited.
The company says they have a good rapport with the National Emergency Management Organization and has assisted the organization with relief efforts in Dominica post-Hurricane Maria in 2017.
NEMO knows that they can call on us at MNC and King Ocean at any time in order to assist them in their time of needs. We have a very good relationship with the management of NEMO, including Ms. Maida and the other members at NEMO. Anytime they need help, they are free to call on us, and we will see how best we can assist.
King Ocean Shipping Services expects to continue with relief efforts to St. Vincent and the Grenadines with the shipment of at least 5 40-foot containers this week. From the Government Information Service, Lisa Joseph reporting. Thank you, Lisa, for that story. Well, we've come to the end of our updates for the morning. We are due for a break. When we come back, we'll be hearing from Her Excellency Claudia Edward-Ladner. She is one of the Goodwill ambassadors that have been continuing the work appointed to her by the Department of Culture and the Creative Industries. So that's some effervescence for your Friday. Do stay tuned for that interview. She'll be talking about her latest project. Of course, we're going to ask her a bit more than that. We know she has her hands dabbling in other things. So stay tuned for that coming up after this break.
We got this. Yeah. After making. We don't have no other choice but to be strong.
We're gonna make it.
What do you mean? Why God?
I am a voice of hope, and I just wanna let you know that I believe in our strength as a people and the promise of a bright tomorrow.
And I want you to believe and trust.
I know God is watching over us, and I believe if we all come together now, everything will be alright. If we only press on.
Strength of the bond and the ties among this generation.
Unite and be one, the fight will be won.
Come on, Caribbean.
Don't worry about the circumstances. Don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance at life and conquer it. Don't worry about the circumstances. Don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance at life, 'cause we got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. Caribbean people, we got this.
We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. I am the strength within, yeah.
I know that we will rise again, and I'm sure we can lift on people.
It's a fight and we must all be shared. I can't believe this day has come.
For our sake, we must keep distance. Everyone looking out for their neighbor. Islands in the Caribbean sun.
It's time to be strong, the battle is on.
For the future of each generation. Every daughter and son united as one.
Sing on, Caribbean.
Don't worry about the circumstances. Don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance at life and conquer it. Don't worry about the circumstances.
Must come.
Don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance.
No stress.
We got this. We got this. Oh yeah, we got this. We got this. Oh yeah, we got this. We got this. Yeah, we got this. Caribbean people, we got this.
Hear me? Rough it, tough it, dirty enough, still have to get up. Hold firm in the kitty and we have to stand up. As virus a rush, we still can't touch, we still can't crush we. We have faith, hope, strength, protection of the Almighty.
And we prayed up, yes, yes, we prayed up. And we stayed up, yes, yes, we stayed up. Head high full of confidence, we not keep bucket, tell them we never gave up. Big up essential workers, rest in peace, we fallen soldiers. Corona can't conquer, we West Indies, one love and unity. Yeah. Don't worry about the circumstances. Don't worry, no. Don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance at life. We got this. We got this.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We got this. I mean, this video came out, very early on in terms of our response to COVID-19, and I think we've been doing a good job so far. Kudos to the Ministry of Health and Wellness for their management of every wave that has come hitting St. Lucia. We've dealt with it very well. At this time, we are now on to our interview segment for this morning's update. We're speaking to Her Excellency, Claudia Edward-Ladner, as well as a partner in terms of her latest projects. We have Naja Simeon from Saki Productions here to speak to us about the latest project, painting the outside wall of the Blanchard Combined School. I'm going to come to that in just a moment, but first I want to say, first of all, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Well, thank you for being here. I want to start with you, Her Excellency Claudia Edward-Ladner. It has been quite a journey up until being appointed by the government of St. Lucia. Tell us what it has been like since you've been appointed, becoming an ambassador for St. Lucia.
Well, I take that role very seriously because I think the fact that I was appointed as an ambassador, it means that they saw something in me, in the work that I do, and I do it because I love St. Lucia. I love kids, and my foundation basically does projects for schools which benefits every child in the school. And I could have gone in and said, okay, let's do lunch bags or school books, but that would not benefit the entire school. And my aim was always to do something that benefit an entire school, every project that I do. And it's great that government saw what I was doing and believed that it was something good. And for me, it's really a reward for, hey, you did a good job, here's what we can do
Pat
for
on
you.
the back.
Exactly, exactly. So that means a lot to me, and I take it seriously also because I want to be that example for that younger person growing up, say, oh, Claudia is a singer, she doesn't have to do this, but she does. And it's for love of my country, love of giving back, and not expecting anything in return. It's just that feeling that when you do something good, that you feel like you fulfill a need for you. It's not for anybody else. So I love the appointment, and I've graciously accepted it and continue to do the work that I started.
Okay, so Edward for Education, you founded that organization,
Yes,
that charity organization.
in 2010.
Okay, and so far, tell us about the work that has happened in the last 10 years.
Well, we do a project, we try to do a project once a year, and we've done a sick room for the current secondary school. And when I say we've done a sick room, I'm talking about building it from the ground up. Includes furnishing it after it's built. And we can't do that without partners. So what we do is go to the community where the school is in and try to get partners within the community. If we can't, then we reach further out. So we've done a sick bay for the current secondary school. We've done a learning center for the Ave Maria Primary School. We recently finished a theater arts room for the Cicero Secondary School. And we also brought in a Shakespeare professional one year to do literature workshops with teachers and students both in the north and the south of the island.
I remember that.
And we just completed our last project with Saki Productions, which is the painting of a mural on the wall of the Blanchard Combined School.
Okay, so tell me, how did this latest project come about? Painting the outside walls of the Blanchard Combined School. School has been out for quite some time.
Yes.
The kids in and out of school. I can imagine that there would be some displacement of schools. Tell us, how did that happen in the last year in terms of the engagement of the principal and so on?
Well, we had a lot of proposals for school projects, and we were thinking with COVID-19 and the social distancing, some of these projects did not make sense for us to approach them at this time. When we got the call from the Blanchard Combined School, the principal, she said to us, we have a proposal that will enable our kids to learn on the outside of the classroom, which works perfectly with the social distancing and all of that. And also it gives the kids an opportunity to go outside to learn.
Nice.
And when she told us what her plans were, I said, oh my God, there's just one person I can call to do this. And, you know, thankfully you come across people in your life's journey that you can later on say, and you create relationships and friendships. And these people you can call and say, hey, Naja, I have a project. Tell me if you can do this. And I said, I know it's what Naja does is not something that you could just tell somebody, paint this. You know, it's talent, it's time, it's so much to it that I could not bring myself to say, Naja, do it for free, you know? And I said to him, I have a project, tell me if you're interested. What will you need? How can you assist us with doing it? And I said, Claudia, oh my God, I love those kind of things. I'd love to do it. I said, for free? He said, yeah. He said, but the paint is going to cost us. And at that point, you know, I was like, okay, we need another sponsor to come in to provide us with the paint. Wow. And that's when I called Harris Paints, and Christopher Joseph, who is the person I deal with over there, he was more than happy to accommodate us and to be a part of the project. So getting this project together was by far one of the easiest projects I've put together, and in a timely fashion as well.
I know people are itching to see the finished product.
I
but
know,
wait.
I love it so much.
We're coming to Naja Simeon of Saki Productions, designing and really putting in the work in terms of this latest project from Edward for Education. Tell us about the project, the word that you were getting from the principal, your own inspiration.
Well, I think Claudia mentioned almost everything there. But the project, the proposal she showed us, it was huge. It's like she wanted to put something on every single wall. So we had to actually break it down and chew little parts and be like, okay, let's start with this wall, and then we'll move on to the other walls first. So, I mean, she had a brilliant plan. She knew exactly what she wanted, on what wall she wanted it. And Claudia showed me, and I just designed it right there on the spot. We did a site visit.
Yes, we did.
So the project was not just on the day. It was like months of preparation.
Right.
And actually back and forth, sending in designs, what we're going to do here, what we're going to do there. So it was a very easygoing project, no problem at all. Everybody was ready to go.
Except the rain.
Except the rain. The day of the project, there was a huge explosion, an eruption at the La Soufrière
volcano.
So we had rain and we had ash, and the staff was there painting, and everybody was ready to go. Once we were in the school, that was it. So.
Okay, so tell us about the concept of the painting.
Well, the concept of the painting, based on what the principal gave us, she wanted to do maths here, English here, social studies stuff. So what I did was the science part, which is a solar system. And I selected this huge wall. You walk up the stairs, you get this wall, so it's like you're walking into
the universe.
Right.
Yes.
And Earth is right there in the middle, and when you see the image, you'll see the sun is in the center, and it's actually painted on top of a light fixture. So when the light comes on, the sun glows.
Everything lights up.
So it's just a beautiful concept, but I wanted the children to walk into the solar system, and now they can look at, you know, not just the Earth, but the entire universe and beyond.
Nice. Well, let's see if the principal liked it. So let's go to the clip from the principal to just hear from her what her thoughts are standing in front of the painting.
Behind me is an awesome mural of the solar system. This solar system was painted by the superbly talented Naja Simeon and a team of equally talented guys from Saki Productions. This was conceptualized out of the need to extend our learning spaces, both in the classroom and outside. A proposal was sent in to Edward for Education, who responded favorably and quite quickly at that. It took about 1.5 days to complete this project with the help of staff members and some students. We were able to complete it quite quickly. Everyone loves it. We are very excited. The students were very excited when they came in on Monday morning and saw this mural on the wall for the first time. They were very, very excited. Parents are very pleased to see those kinds of things happening at the school. So on behalf of the Lucia family, I want to thank Edward for Education, Saki Productions, and Harris Paints for helping us see this project to fruition.
Wonderful.
Love it.
Mrs. Edward-Ladner, so definitely a pleased principal.
Oh my God, she's elated. She said to me, Claudia, I envisioned this, but I did not envision this. Right. So the school is pleased, the teachers are pleased, the students are elated.
Wonderful.
She said she can't get them away from the wall, which is really good.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
especially a nice treat for the return to the classroom
yes.
this week.
Yes.
Saki Productions, Naja, tell us about that. Tell us about your background.
The
Because
background.
this is a wonderful work of art.
That's a lovely background, yeah. Saki Productions, actually, that's part of my middle name, Saki. My middle name is Misaki. So it's Naja Misaki Simeon.
Okay.
And from a little kid, everybody calls me Saki, and it's just, I couldn't get rid of it. It's just, I was Saki. So I registered the business in like 2018 when I returned to St. Lucia from university. I studied art at university and engineering. So I just wanted to hit the ground running, and I tried to show my artwork in galleries, but there were very few galleries. I think there was only one gallery, which is like the inner gallery, and I really couldn't get my artwork in there. I don't know why. So we teamed up with a few other people, and we was like, you know what, let's start the outdoor gallery and start just putting paintings out there. You don't have to put it in a gallery. Inner gallery, yeah. You don't have to put it inside of a gallery. You just want, let's just put it out there. So we started doing murals. I had experience doing murals in the US at university, and I came back to St. Lucia and we just hit the ground running. The first murals were done with Dupes. You know, Dupes. I don't know if Dupes is an ambassador, is he?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. It should be if it's not. And we got some sponsorship, did some murals. I did murals in communities like Saltibus, painted schools, and ever since, we've been doing murals, over 40 murals all around the island now.
Okay, so this commissioning was not unique for you. This is something that you've done already.
We do this all the time. I think Claudia knows about that, but Claudia and I met in other artistic ways.
Theater.
Yeah, we met in the movie industry.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, that's Saki Productions and the Outdoor Gallery.
So, Claudia, tell me a bit about, I mean, this is definitely giving you ideas for the future for Edward for Education, the way in which it happened. It's something that you want to continue?
I think it's a great initiative to continue, especially in light of the world we live in now. Outdoor learning is actually one of the positive ways to go for school, especially primary schools, when the kids are so fidgety and you just try to get them to settle, give them something to focus on that's beautiful, that's colorful, you know, that they can appreciate and learn, you know.
Make the environment visually rich.
Exactly.
So if they go outside, they're still learning. Just by reading
And
what's
it's
on
not
the
just
wall.
paper and pen now, you know, it's an actual wall to what's this planet called, and it's right there in their face. So I think, and we also did the multiple tables on
we did multiplication tables.
On the walls.
And I told you this principal has so many brilliant ideas.
Yes, she does.
That there are more projects coming up, and they could
For
call
Blusher
on me
combined.
anytime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
I have to design something else for them, and they have a local artist in the community who is on board.
Right.
And what's his name, Mr. Knight? Yeah, I'm giving him a shout out right now there because he has a big project to do with Blusher.
Okay, so aside from Blusher, what are the other plans for Saki?
The other plans for Saki, I just finished a project in Masha actually. With the musicians, entertainers, and people in theater. But I was with the Ministry of Tourism.
Okay, nice.
And then before that, we did the Independence murals, the St. Lucia mural at Point Seraphine, murals along the Cashews bus stop with other groups like USAID had a small group with, what was the name of that group? I can't remember, but it was a youth groups and Anglican school and all this other stuff. The plan for Saki Productions, right, and the Outdoor Gallery is to now start almost like a non-profit organization where we can get donations and get support from people who support the arts, so we can continue doing these projects in the communities, but involving the youth and the people in that community so that they take possession, they take ownership of these spaces, beautify them, you know, give it a little vibe, inspire others, even start their little tours around the village, you know. And our theme is to put paint where it ain't. So anywhere there's a wall and it looks black, give it a little coat of paint, some nice inspirational quotes, something fun and lively, and you see everybody starts gravitating to that space. It becomes the backdrop. Photo shoots are being done there. Everything starts happening in that spot. So I'm very lucky that I can actually do that, and we're transforming spaces. So.
Absolutely, and therapeutic for the world we now live in, where persons have to be apart from each other, like you indicated, Claudia. Well, the kids had something to say to Edward for education. Let's take a look at it.
Cute.
How do you feel?
I love it. I love it. I love the smiles on their faces. And when I spoke to the principal yesterday, she says, Claudia, the kids love it. And that is what brings me the satisfaction. It's smiles on their faces, the appreciation for it, which means that they will take care of it. And I have no doubt the principal especially, she'll do everything in her power to make sure this lasts forever on that wall.
Yeah, it will last. We took care of that.
Oh, okay.
We put a protective coat on there. The thing is, I always work outside, so I have kind of perfected the art of painting outside, using the right materials, sealing it. But the thing is, for me, everybody's like, but what if? I'm like, a mural is supposed to change with time. It is ephemeral. Things will happen to it. People will write
and
on
that
it.
adds to it.
That adds to it. Don't be afraid if you put something out there and people interfere. You want people to interact with it. And then again, it gives me another opportunity to come and paint it over. I really don't mind.
Well, it's good to finally put a face to some of the projects we've been seeing around the island.
Especially the St. Lucia.
Yes.
At the,
I was trying to be like Banksy, just see Saki, but now blew my cover.
Thank you very much for sparking, that inspiration in some of the younger minds and so on. I know you're definitely working with younger persons in terms of, pushing the artistic.
Yes. I also want to highlight the project we did at Babonneau Secondary on the Friday before school reopened, and it was with Girls of a Feather and other organizations within the school, and the students turned out, the teachers showed up, and everybody was ready and going. So they did a beautiful bathroom project, which is what Girls of a Feather have been doing at many bathrooms around the island. So just to give the children a little inspiration when they walk into the bathroom, when there are no teachers, sometimes that's where you go to cry if you have a little problem. And then when you walk in there, you want that place to give you a little inspiration. So the bathrooms are not a place for kids to hide, but it should be part of their school.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Naja Simeon from Saki Productions. And before we go, thanks to Harris Paints.
Yes, want to say thank you so much to Harris Paints. I mean, I went to Christopher and he said, he had no hesitation. He said, of course, we'd like to be a part of the project. And he even said, give me Naja's number so we can find out exactly what he needs. So they spoke to Naja and they said, tell us exactly what you need. And he told them, and it was go.
We worked it out.
Yes, we worked it out in the end.
Wonderful.
But thank you again, Harris Paints, and thank you to Naja and Saki Productions. Thank you so much. I mean, I too saw what he put on paper, but when I saw the wall, I was literally shocked, happy, elate. I was just like, oh my God, he did that.
Well, it wasn't just me.
I know, but with your leadership, I honestly did not imagine such detail in the production, and that's what just blew me. It was
the teachers were really, they were ready, and some students showed up too.
Yes.
Thanks to Team Saki, a few of my team members showed up, Liven and Jerry, but the teachers, especially a young man, what's his name, Khalil?
Yeah.
Khalil did an incredible job. You saw he was an artist.
Yeah.
Do this.
He was on it,
Wow.
So that's good.
Well, congratulations to you both on another project covered. Her Excellency Claudia Edward-Ladner, and also of Saki Productions, Naja Simeon. Thank you so much for painting another project on the outside walls of the Blusher Combined School. Well, it's all the time we have for now. We'd like to thank you so much for watching the morning update live on NTN. We encourage you to stay tuned for more programming. We're letting you know what the government of St. Lucia is doing, and also our partners. We're looking at the ambassadors, everyone who is on board in terms terms of nation building. If you are doing something, you can always let us know so that we can feature you. But in the meantime, I've got to go. Jessie Leon signing off for now. Enjoy the rest of your day. A nice bubbly Friday morning story, a feel-good story
yes,
to get on into the weekend. Enjoy the rest of it and have a safe weekend. Cheers.